Bro.
You might have to share computers. What flavor is that, Lal?
What did he do, dude?
What flavor is it? So like 8 cups?
What's the latest? Stay after he's like, oh yeah, no. Now they're doing a whole exhibition, so.
No, I'm sorry.
Joey, look at your
We're gonna share computers so you can see a partner.
20 minutes, like,
Not mine. I'm almost ready. Alright, guys. Is everybody sitting with a partner? Nod your heads. Do something. There you go. Alright, so for anybody who doesn't already know, my name is Mrs. Knapton. I am a student teacher working with Mr. Mumby for the next couple of weeks. And today we are going to talk about evaluating resources. I'm handing out one paper, you guys are partners, one paper to each partner group. How many of you, by a raise of hands, prefer to do your research using the internet? Yep, that's what I thought. So what we need to talk about today, since I know it is easiest and sometimes the most accessible way to get to information is to use websites, we need to learn how to, you're welcome, how to actually decide if they're worth using. Are they credible information? So go ahead and go to, are we doing a group of 3 here? Oh, we got one more. We'll have to partner up. Whatever, figure it out, you'll be fine. I want you to go to the 3 websites on this page with your partner and decide if they are credible sources. Make sure when you make this decision that you're also deciding why or why not. Don't just go and circle yes or no. Make sure you write down an answer. I will be calling on you and asking you to explain those. So you have a few minutes now. Go to those 3 websites and make your decisions.
Really look them over. Don't just glance quickly and answer. Look them over. Figure out if they're credible, reliable, or not.
Again, make sure you're writing down why you decide if it's credible or not.
Yeah. It's not creditable. Man, it's triage. It's not creditable.
What's your trade-off? All DNA, specific commercial last Here, just quiet. What is credible?
What's veracity mean?
What's credible? Does that mean you give them credit?
Environmental.
That's really nice.
Rare photo of exclusive.
2 or 1, just maybe your main reason for deciding that it's not credible. They have 2 reasons
Can you
for
rely on it? Is it good information? Can you trust it?
I'm sorry. You got 3 websites to look at, so make sure
Such
we're
thing as
moving
a
quickly.
tree octopus. There's such thing as a tree octopus.
How are we doing over here?
You found it.
You have to tell me why, though, not just that it isn't. What's content?
Bro, dude.
Yeah, or you.
Yo, Steve, look at that. It's on rare photo of millions.
Look at that, that's so real.
You know,
Yeah.
Mr. Bob,
Wikipedia.
what is what is that? What is content rights and like?
There's a tree octopus. Yep, it's real.
Don't forget you got a 3rd one to look at.
Yeah, we
All about explorers.com.
This is their
Okay, you got a 3rd one to look at.
Tree octopus.
You can rely on. Rely on. Just put yes on rely on.
Oh my gosh, it says accuracy.
See polarized light.
So that means
Click on one of those.
content.
That's a really good That's good.
They're not guaranteed.
I don't know what. How do you grab it? Says it shows why that's
So that makes it more incredible. Yeah. Or is that maybe not?
Oh, this is nice. King Kong versus Tree Octopus.
Couple more minutes, so make sure you're getting to all 3 websites.
I have a question. It says like
Look around all the websites. Whatever you want to decide whether or not it's credible.
Why? Because what?
Because it gets, I don't have information.
Wait, powered by your hey, go back now.
What's dehydrated? Oh.
Stop moving. Oh my god.
What do we call these? What do we call
You decide.
What do we call them all? No.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
No, they say to me on the paper, you know, so nobody can take this.
About 2 more minutes I'm going to give you. Yeah. That means if they're copyrighted. I think there's maybe that information copyrighted without credit. The thing is like when you do research, there's
What if tree octopus is real? Yeah, that's real.
yeah.
Fast with the big hand.
pass these down.
Better not be.
We put that.
Yeah, that was
All right, raise your hand if you've had a chance to look at all 3 websites.
like spider monkeys.
Come on.
I think it's good.
So
It usually works anyway.
Hi, Mom.
Tree octopuses don't fly.
they float.
They do not. They don't float. Obviously, they can't fly.
All right. Can I have everyone's attention back up here, please? It's okay if you haven't finished. We're going to go over them all together.
Their favorite food.
Let's start with the very first one that we went to. What was it? DHMO.org. What did you guys think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you thought it was credible. How many people thought it was credible? Go ahead, raise your hand. Okay, and who thought it wasn't credible? All right, so credible people, raise your hand. Why did you think it was credible?
It has a copyright.
It has a copyright, okay.
So it's got an author.
It's what?
It's got an author.
It's got an author. It says Tom Way at the bottom there, right?
It was recently updated.
Recently updated. Anybody else?
Verified by the EAC.
Verified by the EAC? This thing up here? Okay. Who thought it wasn't credible? Why?
Because it said copyright, content veracity is not implied, meaning that it might not all be true.
Interesting. At the bottom, you found this on the website too, didn't you?
I did too.
Content veracity not implied. What does that mean? Veracity. Truthfulness. It's saying right on its website that it's not really implying that any of it's true. Can anybody take a guess at what dihydrogen monoxide actually is? Think about it.
Chemistry people, dihydrogen means what?
Two
hydrogens.
hydrogens.
Monoxide means
One.
2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen equals.
Water. This is a website telling you that water is very dangerous, that it's involved in every cancer in the world, that athletes use it to improve their performance, but they call it dihydrogen monoxide throughout the whole thing. Go ahead, those of you who have the packs of paper, and pass those down to everyone in
Take it
here.
out.
What I'm handing out now is a website evaluation checklist. On the checklist,
Now I feel like 30 weeks.
everybody up here, girls, boys. So if we use our checklist on this website, let's start with the very first one. Does it look professional?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Really? Does it look easy to use? Did you find everything on here that you needed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you did? What did you need?
I need nothing.
Say you were actually using it for research. Does the URL contain any tildes or percentage signs? No, so we're pretty safe there. Just so you know, if we're using a tilde, if you see that on a .edu URL, that means that it's a student's webpage at that university. I have a student webpage at University of Buffalo that has a tilde and then my username and then a couple other random characters. I can put anything I want on there. It doesn't mean the university is editing it or looking at it. So we're pretty good. What's our URL though? What's it at?
Or.
.org. Those are reliable, right?
No. Told you.
Not anymore. Now we just disproved that .org is always trustful. You have to go beyond that. You can't just trust that URL. We did locate an author, right? Tom Way? Yes? Did anybody Google him and find anything about him?
He's a doctor.
There is a Tom Way that is a doctor, but is he related to this DHMO website? Or is Tom Way kind of a common name? If you actually Google Tom Way, the only thing that comes up in relation to DHMO is the DHMO website. Tom Way. Tom Way DHMO. Let's see. What's this say here, my very first hit? Director of Research of the Successful Science Satire website, dhmo.org. Anybody know what satire means?
bloodshed?
Anybody?
False.
It's not.
Think back, Harrison Bergeron, we said was a satire. We talked about all that.
Take a
Jon
guess.
Stewart is a satire.
Is it serious?
No.
No. Is it meant to be serious?
No.
What's it meant to be?
A joke.
A joke. Very good. So here we've Googled it. We found out that our author is not really credible because he created it as a satire, as a joke. Very good. If you go down the checklist, you'll also see things. Is it balanced or unbalanced? Is this trying to convince you of something? Did anybody look at any of the content? It's trying to tell you that dihydrogen monoxide is dangerous and we need to get rid of it. They're trying to convince you of something, which is, by the way, getting rid of water.
Wouldn't suggest that.
Yeah, not a great idea. It's tricky though because it does keep its copyright really updated. March 5th, 2012. What is that? Today. So he definitely tries to trick you into thinking that it's a real website. All right, let's go on to our next website. What was it?
Octopus.
The Tree Octopus. Raise your hand if you thought it was a good, credible website. It's okay. Yes, no? Who thought it was not credible? Why?
Because I saw it over the trees.
Pretty valid point. Our last class had a few that thought maybe they did though. So let's assume that maybe the tree octopus does exist. Maybe. What else would make this not a credible website?
So it's not associated with a school or education?
Not associated with a school. Very good. It tries to make you think it in the content that it's associated with some kind of research division, but it tells you someplace else that it's not. Anybody else? Look at your checklist here. See if you can find reasons that it might not be credible, or that it might be credible.
It's easy to use.
It's easy to use? That's great. Unlike the DHMO website, I like this. This always makes me think a website knows what it's doing when it's got these tabs along the top that take you where you want to go, instead of just that list of links down the side. You know what I mean?
That's what fools you.
That's something that might fool you. I haven't said whether it's a real website or not. What's something else that might make you think one way or the other? Look at your checklist. How many of you Googled tree octopus? What'd you find? What did it say?
That it's an internet hoax.
That it's a hoax website. A website like this, if you Google it, you're going to come up with some of your top hits telling you straight up that it's a hoax website. It's created, again, as a satire. And it's meant to be used in just this kind of lesson, where I'm trying to get you to look at websites and actually decide whether or not they're credible. Could you find an About Us section on here?
No.
Did anybody find one? Or about the author or anything?
No.
No? My favorite is the FAQs.
Yeah.
You scroll down to the bottom here about giving money to the tree octopus. It says that the best way to donate is to travel to the Olympic Peninsula. If you're a minor, ask your parents first. Stand in the tree octopus's forest near a tree and hold out a dollar bill. And then it goes on to tell you that the tree octopus will come down and take it from you, and then line its den inside the tree with the dollar bills. So if you delve sometimes into the content of your website, you might be able to find some pretty good information about whether or not you can trust it.
And
So-
you got to be careful here because you guys looked at this and said, tree octopus, that's crazy, and right away you were already skeptical of this. But if you looked at the site and it said like panda bears or something like that, you wouldn't have immediately thought, hey, this might not be true. But if you look into it more deeply, you can see a lot of these things don't apply. You know, they're saying they're not associated with any kind of gentleman, any kind of educational association. They're saying crazy things like go stand in the forest and hold out a dollar bill and hope the thing comes and steals it. Okay? So just because it looks initially like it could be a true site because it's about something that you're looking for, you got to look at those deeper meanings too, those deeper pieces of it.
Don't just look at the home page and make a rash decision. All right, our last website. What do we think? All About Explorers. Who thought it was credible? Great. Why?
It's got references.
What?
It's got references.
It's got references. That's a great thing to look for. Up here, if you go to references, it tells you where it's getting its information from, right? What do those links look like? They look pretty reliable. Biography.com, PBS, Virtual Museum of New France. They sound pretty good, right? Anybody else?
Authors.
Authors? What do you mean? Oh, you can find the authors where?
Yeah, up at the top.
Up at the top again?
Yeah.
And what does it say? Are those authors credible people? Look at all these credentials. BFA, MBA,